Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello again, grade 9 students. How are you doing? Hope you are all okay. Our lesson today is Module 5, Lesson A, Students Book pages 53 and 70, Workbook page 50, 2 Vocabulary, 3 Grammar. Let's get started. Let's have a look at the learning objectives which we are going to deal with for today. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to first distinguish between some easily confused words. Then we are going to sequence past events using past simple and past perfect. Now it's vocabulary time. Let's start our lesson by learning some new words. The first word for today is explore. It's a verb. It means to learn about a place by traveling to it. The second word is discover. It's also a verb. It means to be the first person to know that a particular place or thing exists. And the third word is invent. It's a verb as well. It means to produce something that hasn't existed before. Now, let's do this exercise. Students Book, page 53, Vocabulary. Complete the sentences with the words in the boxes. These are the words which we have just learned: explored, discovered, and invented. And here we have 3 sentences. Now, kindly please read these sentences, pause the video, and try to complete them using these words. Go ahead. Okay, now let's do number 1. Percy Spencer, the first microwave oven in 1940s. What do you think the correct answer is? Excellent, it's invented. Now let's go to number 2. My friends and I, Barcelona on foot. What do you think of this one? Great, it's explored. And the third sentence, William Herschel, the planet Uranus in 1781. What do you think the correct one is? Very good. It's discovered. Well done, students. Now let's move on to some other new words. The first one is arrive at or arrive in. It's a verb. It means to get to a place, especially at the end of a journey. The next word is get to. It's also a verb. It means to arrive at or reach a place. And the third one is reach. It's also a verb. It means to arrive at the place you have been traveling to. Again, let's go to Students Book, page 53. And let's do this task, 2 vocabulary. Complete the sentences with the words in the boxes. So now we are going to complete these sentences using these words, the words which we have just learned. Now could you please pause the video and do the task? Go ahead. Okay, now let's do number 4. What do you think the correct answer is? Excellent, it's reached. When we finally reached our destination, we were exhausted. What about number 5? What do you think? Very good. It's arrived. The train arrived at the station an hour late yesterday evening. And the last one, what do you think the correct answer is? Excellent. It's got. It was past midnight when we got to the hotel. Well done, students. And now our last 2 words for today. The first one is succeed in something or succeed in doing something. It's a verb. It means to achieve something you've been trying to do or get. And the last word is manage to do something. It's also a verb. It means to succeed in doing something difficult. And now let's do the last part of our vocabulary exercise for today. Complete the sentences with the words in the boxes. We have the words managed and succeeded. And here we have sentences number 7 and 8. You are going to pause the video, read the sentences, and complete them. Go ahead. Okay, now let's do number 7. Fortunately, the rescue team space to find the missing girl. What do you think? Excellent. It's managed. They managed to find the missing girl. And the last sentence, in the end, the climbers in reaching the top of the mountain. What do you think? Very good. It's succeeded. Well done, students. And now let's move on to our new task, the grammar one. Today we are going to deal with past perfect tense. Could you please open your student's book, page 53, and let's study this table. Past perfect simple. Read the examples and find which actions happened first and which happened second. Then complete the rule. First, let's study these examples. The first one says, they had gathered lots of supplies before they left the royal park. Now, which of these two actions happened first? What do you think? Excellent. First, they had gathered lots of supplies. And the second action, they left the royal park. Now, let's go to the second example. By the time Pork arrived at Cooper's Creek, the others had left. Look at this example. Which do you think happened first? Which action happened first? Very good. They had left. And which action happened second? Excellent. Arrived. Now it's time to complete the rule. How can we form the past perfect simple? Look at the examples. How can we form the past perfect simple? Excellent. We use had plus past participle. Here we have had plus gathered, the past participle of gather. Here we have had plus left, the past participle of leave. Now let's read this rule. We use the past perfect simple for an action which happened, space, another action in the past. What do you think the correct word that can be added to complete this space? Wonderful. It's before. So we use the past perfect simple for an action that happened before another action in the past. So here we have two actions happened in the past. The first one we use past perfect and the second one we use simple past. Could you please open your student's book, page 70. Module 5, past perfect simple. As for the affirmative form, we use subject plus had plus past participle. For example, I had worked, she had written. In the negative form, we add not to had. For instance, I had not worked, we had not written. As for questions, we change the order. Instead of using subject verb, we use verb subject. For example, I had worked. Had I worked? They had written. Had they written? Now let's read this note. Look at the list of irregular verbs. You can find this list in Student's Book, page 71. This is the list. Don't forget to read it as much as you can. These verbs are the ones that you should always remember. Again, for more information about the past perfect, you can go to Student's Book, page 70. What I want you to do now is to have a look at the uses of the past perfect simple, and here we have the time expressions that are used to refer to the past perfect. These are the time expressions. After, followed by had plus verb 3 past perfect, then past simple. We also use until, preceded by past simple followed by past perfect. We also use before and by the time followed by past simple, then had plus verb 3 past perfect. And we also use when followed by past simple, then had plus verb 3 the past perfect. Now let's go back to Student's Book, page 53, and do this task. B. Complete with the past simple or the past perfect simple of the verbs in brackets. Here we have 4 sentences. What you are going to do is to pause the video, read the sentences, and put the verbs in the correct tense, past simple or past perfect simple. Go ahead. Okay, now let's do the first one. What do you think the first answer is? Excellent. By the time the climbers reached the top, what about the second one? Very good. It had started. Why? Because this action happened before this one. So it should be in the past perfect and this should come in simple past. And notes here we have the word by the time. It's a time expression used to refer to the past perfect. Now let's go to number 2. What do you think the answer is? Very good. When I arrived. What about the second one? Excellent. I realized. And the third one? Great. Had not taken. Why? Because this action happened first. I hadn't taken my mobile phone with me. When I arrived at the office, I realized that. So this action happened first. It comes in the past perfect, and these two actions happened after this one, so they appear in the past simple form. Now what about sentence number 3? Excellent. Was. What about the next one? Very good. It came. And the third one? Excellent. Had broken. Why? This action happened first. The car had broken down. As a result of this, Muhammad was annoyed when he came home. Now let's go to number 4. What do you think the correct answer is? Excellent. The correct answer is had loaded. What about the next one? Very good. It's left. Why? This action happened first, so it appears in the past perfect, and this action appears in the simple past. Well done, students. Now open your workbook, page 50, and let's do this task. B. Complete with past simple or past perfect simple of the verbs in brackets. Here we have a conversation between two people, A and B. You are going to read it and complete using these verbs, the verbs in brackets, in the correct tense, past simple or past perfect simple. Go ahead. Now you can check your answers. Again, workbook, page 50, let's do this task. C. Join the sentences using the words given, make any necessary changes. The first one says, I got into a taxi, then I realized my bag was still in the cafe. We want to join these two sentences using after. Now look at these two sentences. Which action happened first? Very good. This one. So it should come in the past perfect simple. And this one should come in the simple past tense. Now let's join these two sentences using after. The answer is very good. After I had got into the taxi, I realized my bag was still in the cafe. After is followed by past perfect simple, had got, then we use simple past tense. Again, workbook, page 50. Now we are going to join these sentences using the words given. Now what I want you to do is to pause the video, read the sentences, and use these words to join the sentences. Don't forget that for the action which happened first, we use past perfect simple. And for the actions which happened next, we use simple past tense. Go ahead. Now you can check your answers. Now it's your turn to do this task. These are some actions that happened yesterday. You are going to look at these pictures and complete the sentence. What do you think the correct answer is? Excellent. After he had studied, he went to sleep. This action happened first, past perfect, and this action happened then, simple past. Now, what about these pictures? What do you think the correct answer is? Excellent. Before she washed the dishes, she had eaten. This one happened first, past perfect, and this one happened next, simple past. To wrap up what we have learned today, let's do this task. Do as shown in brackets. After I play football, I had a shower. Correct the verb. What do you think the correct tense should be? Excellent. It should be past perfect. After I had played. Here we have after followed by past perfect, then simple past. Now let's have the sentence. By the time my father arrived, I had slept. Correct the verb. Wonderful. By the time my father arrived, this action happened first, then this action happened, preceded by the time. Well done, students. Thank you for watching. See you later.